Hey everybody, welcome back to this Kyosho Hanging On Racer kit build series. Today we're going to be working on page 6. We're going to build a mechanism that leans the driver as the motorcycle turns. We're going to be coupling these two parts together and also attaching the servo to the receiver. And lastly, we're going to be building the gearbox and installing the chain. Seems like a lot, but we're going to break it down into smaller steps and it should be manageable. So let's get started. Let's take a look at what we're going to do right now. We're going to be building up both of these arms, and then we're going to attach it to this, here, and there. So this is the sequence that step number 6 is going to come together. Start with the screw, then a washer, and then the arm, and then the sleeve, this, and then a nylon nut at the end. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we're going to slip the nut into this slot right here and make sure the blue side is up. Just like that. And it's going to line up with this when we drop it in there. As usual, don't over tighten and make sure this arm has free movement. All right, for this side, we need to put all of this together. Most importantly, the E-clip has to meet the bolt right here. So let me start with the spring and then the cup. And the cup needs to have the screw hole lined up with the slot like that, so that we can put the set screw in. And then the arm like that. And now we need to find a way to press this in far enough that we can put the E-clip on. So for me, I'm going to use my thumb and press it down. Notice how I set everything down, but just in case this broke off somewhere, it would just try to stay around here. All right, let's not forget the set screw. And now we're ready to put this all together. Notice this has a hex shape, and so does the head of this bolt. Gonna make sure that's set in there. Then we're gonna be slipping it through this hole all the way across, like that. And we need to make sure that this goes into this slot right here, like that. And then now for this side, we're going to thread the rod in here. Just make sure it's even with the other arm, and it is. And this is where we would use the set screw to lock it in. So when the servo turns this, it's going to turn this lever, and it's going to turn these arms, and this controls the figurine that's riding the bike. Okay, and for step 7, we're going to build the other end of the damper that is attached to the subframe. Then we're going to attach this onto here and lock it in with this long bolt and a nut on the other side. And of course, we're going to connect the servo onto the receiver. Okay, first let's build this damper. I think tension is going to hold that together. Okay, the next part's a little bit tricky, but let's go over it together. We need to thread the servo wire under there so it can reach the receiver. This damper needs to go through this hole right here. The stud on top of the servo horn needs to meet this. And from the side, this hole needs to meet with this right there with the screw. And this hole needs to line up. Thread the wire first, go on the right side of the receiver. And then I'm going to pull it far forward as I can. So when I thread this through, it's not going to get in the way. And I'm going to turn this all the way to the right so it doesn't get in the way. And now you can see the holes are lined up here and here. And all we need to do is to put the screws through. The long screw is going to go through this hole and be met with a nut on the other side. Then we're going to put 2 screws here and here. And of course, don't forget to plug your servo wire into channel 1. All right, let's move on to step 8. Okay, and for the next part, we're going to need everything here. We have the housing. We have this metal gear right here where the chain's going to lock onto. I have this gear, a shaft, and 4 of these black spacers. And these can be found on this small tree. And of course, we have grease right here. The kit does come with a small bag of grease, but I'm going to go ahead and use this instead. And we need to lock the chain onto there, like that. Need to make sure the chain is still on. Then we're going to close it up and fasten it with these 3 screws. It's going to look like that. I think if you did it correctly, these 2 pieces should be touching. Now, I did not forget the grease. I'm going to put the grease on now after everything's put together, so it's a little bit easier and nothing's going to fly away and I don't have to be touching greasy gears. And we greased up all the gears. All right, we did a lot today on page 6. We built the mechanism that's going to make the rider lean. We combined the servo and the subframe. And we also built this gearbox. Thanks for watching this video. You got anything out of it? Please drop a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.